So Arsenal 2, that lockdown, the Seven Sisters 1, Kenny baby, when it went 1-0. Oh my God, Kenny, you probably thought exactly the same as everyone. Like, what a finish, number one.
Yeah.
And number two, that's their first shot, the jammy little wrong-uns. But what a performance. There were some great performances out there today. And like, we dug in today and we took them off the park for the majority of that football match. But what did you make of it?
Well, the thing about Tottenham is that, I was hearing all week from, even our fans, and obviously me and Claude had a difference of opinion on a podcast on Friday where he was saying it means more to Spurs than it does to us. And I was saying, let's inject a bit of passion here and let's see this opportunity. If we win today and win next week, we make things very interesting for ourselves. And then go into Liverpool game, which could be a six-pointer. So I was always of the opinion, let's go in this mindset that there's still something to play for. And from the offset, we were fantastic. I think Spurs' tactics were typical of the tactics that were successful at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, where they made themselves compact and they wanted to capitalise on our stupidity and our mistakes. And I'm sorry, we disappointed them. We were at it, didn't give them enough time to breathe. They got very unlucky when Song went off. I noticed that some people thought it was a good look to cheer his him going off. I can understand that from a fan thing because he's very dangerous and he's caused us a lot of heartache over the years because he's a fantastic direct player. But to be honest, Song going off actually galvanised Spurs, and Lamela was the perfect player to come on for them. Perfect, because I think it's in his nature. He's got this sort of South American street fighter thing. He's got this chip on his shoulder that the whole world's against him, and no one's going to take the mick out of him. And he added spice to a match where Spurs didn't have any passion, and he scored a great goal. I mean, I didn't know
it was unbelievable. Like I didn't realise what he'd done in real time.
I did.
It was only when I see it back on the replay, I was like, "You're taking the mick, mate."
No.
You got Partey, Cedric, and Louise all stood there, and you have just Rabona'd, nutmegged Thomas Partey in the process. He done that so slick. It was one of the best goals that we're going to see this season. It was such a slick finish.
Look, you know what? It's the goal of the season. The thing about it, right, is that it's the only thing he could have done. I was looking at it and I thought, no way is he going to try it. And when he went in the net, it's one of those things where you think, you don't know whether to laugh, you don't know whether to cry, you don't know whether to smash the telly or get up and just applaud him. You're thinking, that was just shithousery from the guy. But, what we did is that we didn't panic because, it was within our mindset. We were playing really well. We were playing good football. There was so much time, nothing to panic about. And what we did is that we went down the other end, did the overlap. Tierney and Smith Rowe.
He was superb. Tierney. Smith Rowe as well. Both of them down that side were excellent.
Dave, on the overload, good cross. There were situations as well, where Odegaard mishits his shot, comes off Oliver into net. But there were other times, hit the bar.
That would have been that would have been one of the great North London goals. North London derby goal. Smith Rowe had slapped that in. So close. Definitely. And then obviously we hit the post as well.
I know. I was actually going to talk to you about that because I was imagining your face. I wasn't watching your podcast or you're watching them. You're watching the match, but I could just imagine you going ballistic when Lacazette did that dummy to no one in particular.
Oh mate, I was going nuts.
But you got to clap Cedric because when Cedric smells the situation is right, I could be a hero there. Takes Spurs by surprise because they're expecting none of their players reacted. He reacted first, hit the post. And I think 1-1, I think it was injustice. We should have been 3 or 4.
I just want to take you back very quickly because you just mentioned Cedric, and me and Chig on the watch along had a bit of a debate about Cedric and Saka for that goal that Lamela scored because Reguilon was in acres of space, and Cedric was. When you see Lamela finish it, Cedric's basically a centre back.
Yeah.
Like, number one, why is he a centre back at that point? And number two, why did it take Saka so long to get back out? Like, for me, I blame both of them for that goal.
But see, that's the thing. From a tactical point of view, it was another situation where it was down our right hand side, the overload as well, and where we're not part of the wider weight club. And you've got a situation with Saka. You've got to get used to the fact that you really, really, really don't want Saka to be anywhere near left back or even a right back situation because he just can't defend. You know, when he was playing left back last season, Granit Xhaka was getting in position to try and cover him so he can go, so he can, like I said, get his forays down the left-hand side. So Saka is a forward player. If you notice today, it's a little bit of comparison. Gareth Bale was doing the same thing. Gareth Bale, a former left back at Southampton, bought by Spurs by left back, but he was leaving acres of space, and he left Doherty exposed by Smith Rowe
and Tierney fully took advantage with Smith Rowe.
So in retrospect, you know, the two creative players in that role in terms of Gareth Bale and Saka. Well, Saka didn't come out for the second half. We don't know whether that's an injury or not. And Gareth Bale was substituted because they were a danger in defensive areas for both sides. But saying that, second half, we were fantastic again. Spurs, you know, a bit more compact. You know, Lloris, thanks, mate, for that clearance. You know, Pepe's come on. You know, he was struggling when he first came into the field, but he comes on, anticipates it. Great pass. I must say now, when I saw it, I went, penalty, yeah, come on, penalty. I've now seen the replay, and I'm thinking, hang on here. And then Lacazette, you know, kind of elaborated that it was actually a lucky decision and that he was more angry himself for miskicking it. So really and truly...
Well, it's funny you saying that because Freddie Ljungberg sat on the Sky panel tonight and he said it weren't a penalty.
It was. Well, Lacazette said it wasn't a penalty himself. Lacazette was more upset with himself for the fact that he actually kicked Davinson Sanchez and missed the ball. So he's actually saying he was lucky to get that decision. So whether he's saying it wasn't a penalty, he was just lucky because he fluffed his lines. Even so, the way he put the ball in the corner of the net, brilliant.
It was a beautiful penalty.
You know, if you noticed that
slide rule, bottom corner.
Have you noticed that when you're watching Hugo Lloris, because he's had so many good situations where he saved a lot of penalties, I was saying, watch that guy on the line. Watch him. Because many times before VAR, that guy would have been off his line and he would have probably saved that. So that was good refereeing. But again, Lamela, again, the Argentine South American bulldog thing. He was a red card waiting to happen. It was a red card waiting to happen. He went in, showed passion. Actually, let's face it.
He had one in the first half where I think it went out for a throw-in where he went in and it was a bit of a wall. Hang on Cedric. And he went out for a throw-in, but he was the only one on it today. The rest of them weren't anywhere near it.
He wasn't. And I think what's happened is that when he gets his arm out, he doesn't actually see Kieran, but Kieran makes sure that the referee's got a decision to make when he goes down, because over the years, a lot of players have done that to us, a lot of shit housery. So in that respect, after that, you would think we'd be comfortable. We'll think that we were going to go on and win the game. But actually, that galvanised Spurs, because Lucas Moura decided to think, right now, I'm the leader.
He turned into Lucas Messi at times, dribbling past 4 or 5 players.
I must admit, the last 20 minutes was probably our worst part of the game, because I think what's happened, we panicked, because what's happened with Lucas Moura making his runs, we're giving away silly free kicks. Harry Kane came into it. You know, we're very lucky that he went up a bit early and headed the ball in the net. The free kick situation, hits the post. Got great props for Gabriel.
That was unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Yeah, unbelievable. One thing I will say about Spurs and everything as well, you normally, right, you win football matches by getting on the front foot. You don't win football matches by hoping the opposition, and I'm going to, how do I say it in French terms, F up. And and let's face it, Spurs got what they deserve today, because if they actually
100%.
If they went on the front foot, they may have won the game. But
look at the way they carved us apart in the last 15 minutes.
But they decided that it would be a great idea to come and to watch the Wolves game and watch the instances of the game against Olympiacos and think, you know what, this team is going to make mistakes. We're going to win the game without a sweat, and they got what they deserve. And also, one thing I will say to Lamela, well done on the goal, but Rabonas don't win you North London derbies.
Yeah, go on, Kenny. Come on. Thanks again for coming on, man. And, mate, I called 2-1 as well, so I'm proud of myself tonight. Yeah? Negative league gunner, called 2-1 to the Arsenal.
I said 1-1. So really and truly,
I did say 1-1, but then last night I changed my mind on the podcast, on the show I did with Toby and Henry, both Spurs fans. Yeah, I said no. You know what it's like with a North London derby. Like, you get a bit nervous, but then you get a bit of confidence, and then leading up to the day of the game, yeah, it's just tense. You've been to enough of them games. But it's mad. It's mad. And you've escaped out of White Hart Lane quite comfortably.
We're wearing it. Well, I won't be wearing this next season when I go to White Hart Lane. I haven't been wearing this at an away game since. Well, you know what? Don't even admit when you're wearing this, because you don't want to create any problems for people.
Just take your backpack like Ty does and get changed, mate. Balaclava the lot.
Well, I've actually got a funny story about Ty, about one of those games where, for some reason, right, he must have done the Roger 4-minute mile to catch up with me on the way back from the grads. I swear to God, 1 minute he's nowhere near you. 5 minutes later, he's right next to you. So, well done. But you know what? We deserved that. You know, our performance deserved a win like that. And I've got nothing but pride for the players. We haven't even mentioned just Aubameyang, and that's what we should.
Apparently, he turned up late for the team coach. And that ties in very well, because Gunner Blog put a tweet out saying that he's just seen Aubameyang overtake him or go past him in North London in his Lambo. Yeah. So that ties in, because on match day, they all go on the coach together.
Well,
he said it's not the first time he's done that.
Well, that's what I was going to allude to that as well. Is that, obviously, in terms of man management, you think, right, you have a word to your captain, you say to the captain, look, you're the leader of men. You've got to lead by example. So he does it the first time, and you, all right, okay, upper. And then when it keeps snapping, because come on, mate, come on, we're in a bad situation. I'm under pressure. I need you to come late. He does it again. He says, right, that's it. I've given you enough warnings. I've given you a final warning. You've let me down again. Off you go. Just, you're going to be part of the bench, but you're not starting the match because I trust you. Because at the end of the day, you've got to realise, right, it's trust. The coach has to trust the captain. The captain's got to trust the coach, and I think that's the trust has broken down. But you know what? He's been punished. He's learnt his lesson.
Yeah,
next match we move on. But
nice one, Kenny. Thanks for coming on again, man. Appreciate it. Have a good evening. Yeah.